Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, Counter Spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
So many shows are just about the star. But a show that is not just about the star is the Jack Benny program. In this episode of the show from March 5th, 1950, we're not only going to hear the whole gang, but we're also going to hear a special guest. Pay close attention as Buck Benny rides again.
The Jack Benny program.
Starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, once again it is my pleasure to introduce the star of our show. And since today is March the 5th...
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? This is Phil Harris, the one and only...
Phil. That introduction was for me.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dad, but when Donzie said 5th, I just naturally opened my mouth.
Well, cork it up again and sit down. Continue, Don.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the month of March. And as you all know, March comes in like a lion and goes out like a ham. And here he is, Jack Benny.
Thank you. This is Jack Benny talking, and Donzie boy, for your information, the word is lamb, not ham.
I know, Jack, I was only trying to be cute.
Well, Don, when I want something your size to be cute, I'll get an elephant that toe dances. So the next time...
Oh, Jack, let's not start off the program with an argument.
Mary, please, I'm admonishing Don for being overly facetious. That new writer I've got is working out swell. Anyway, Don, there are more interesting things to talk about in the month of March.
Oh, you're right, Jack. I guess I could have talked about March 21st.
Yes, that's the first day of spring.
Or March 17th.
That's St. Patrick's Day.
Or March 15th.
That's... Yike! Mary, don't make me nervous.
Hey, Jackson, what's so exciting about March the 15th?
Well, since you don't seem to know, Phil, I'll tell you. March 15th is the day you pay your income tax.
Income tax, what's that?
Phil, income tax is a portion of a man's salary that is sent to the government to help the financial support of the country.
Gee, this is interesting.
Certainly. As a matter of fact, when a man receives a salary check, it already has a basic deduction of 20%.
20%?
That's 1/5.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? This is Phil Harris. Sorry, Dad, it slipped out subconscientiously.
Well, go sit down. Anyway, if I'm going to discuss income tax, I should talk to Alice, not to one of her dependents.
Jack,
What?
why do you keep insulting Phil like that? You treat him like he's a nobody. And he's got a lot of talent.
Tell him, Livy, lay it on him.
He has a great personality and a lot of charm.
Loaded with it.
He even writes his own songs and leads a band.
Keep talking, Bon Emmy. You ain't scratched the surface yet.
He also sings and makes records.
Oh, well, won't you come with me to Alabama? Let's go see my dear old mammy.
And not only that, he...
What's the matter?
Just talking about him made me sick.
I know what you mean, Mary. Now, look, kids. Hey, you had a lot to do today, didn't you? Look, kids, let's not waste any more time. I want to see that everything is right before our guest star arrives. As you know, we're going to be honored today by the presence of one of England's most famous daughters, Miss Sarah Churchill.
Oh, she's the daughter of Winston Churchill, isn't she?
Yes, Don, when she gets here, I want everybody on their good behavior. In fact, I made a few notes on that subject. Mary, did I give you the paper with the notes on it?
Yes, Jack, here it is.
Good. Read it, will you?
Okay. To the boys in the orchestra, if the musical arrangement calls for the trombone section to be muted, please hold a derby in front of the horn instead of stuffing your socks into it.
That's right. That's right, Barry. Very good, good.
And to those who have no tuxedos, keep your coats buttoned so the bibs to your overalls don't show.
Yes. And another thing, kids, when Miss Churchill arrives, I want everybody to stand up. Now, come on, let's rehearse it once. Everybody, including the orchestra. Stand up. Very good, very good. Now, sit down. Now, Mary, you're the only girl in the cast, so I think it's up to you. Oh, that must be Miss Churchill now. Come on, everybody. Up, 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 up. That's it. Good, good. Coming.
Hello, Mr. Benny.
Come on, kid.
Why is everybody standing up?
Well, that's to show respect.
Well, it's about time. I've got 2 shows, you know.
Sit down, boys. Dennis, for your information, we were expecting Miss Sarah Churchill.
Who's she?
Who's she? Miss Churchill is not only a great actress, but she also happens to be the daughter of Winston Churchill.
Who's he?
Dennis, think back to the years of the war.
Okay.
Now, who was it who went from London to Casablanca? Then the next thing you heard, he was in Paris, Tehran, Yalta, and Potsdam. Now, who was it?
Bob Hope.
Yeah, and Jerry Colonna was in the House of Lords. And now, oh, kids, I almost forgot. When Miss Churchill gets here, I'm going to invite her over to my house for dinner this evening. I want you all to come.
Well, it's about time, Jackson. I haven't had dinner at your house since September the 10th.
Now, wait a minute, Phil. It hasn't been that long since you've had dinner at my house.
It was September the 10th, and I got the canceled check to prove it.
Gosh, how time flies.
Speaking of time, it's time for us to take a break. From March 5th, 1950, the Jack Benny program here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. The Jack Benny program was originally broadcast and sponsored in this era by Lucky Strike cigarettes. Now, I mention that as a fact, not to support smoking because both my parents died of cancer and I don't like that either. But it is interesting that we have been cautioned not to run the original advertising and, in fact, to remove most of the mentions of that evil, mean cancer sticks. In 1970, April 1st, President Nixon signed the legislation banning cigarette ads on TV and radio. Interestingly enough, Nixon supported the legislation, even though he was an avid pipe smoker, indulging as many as 8 bowls of tobacco a day. Although some people might say President Nixon engaged in 8 bowls of something else today, but I won't say that. President Nixon was a fairly good president, but he had some idiosyncrasies. We appreciate him. March 5th, 1950, more of the Jack Benny program here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Anyway, kids, don't forget to be at my... Oh, that must be Miss Churchill now. All right, everybody, up, 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 up. Coming. Well, hello, Miss Churchill.
Hello, Mr. Benny.
Come in, Miss Churchill. Come in.
Mr. Benny, why is the orchestra standing up?
Well, I thought it was a kind of a nice thing to do. You know?
Oh, I see. Thank you. That chap in the Shakespearean costume is rather cute.
A Shakespearean costume?
Yes. That fellow at the drums. He's wearing tights.
Tights? Oh, my goodness, Sammy forgot his pants. Sit down, gentlemen, and pass. Well, Miss... Miss Churchill, it's really swell seeing you again. The last time I saw you was during my visit to London.
That's right. You were appearing at the Palladium Theater.
Yes, and you know, I never did get a chance to thank you. It was nice of you to come backstage to see me.
It was nice of you to ask me.
And it was nice of you to attend my opening.
It was nice of you to sell me a ticket.
Yes. But, gee, I was thrilled in London. All those historical sites there, Buckingham Palace, Westminster Abbey, Piccadilly Circus, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, the changing of the...
Mr. Benny.
Uh-huh?
The Leaning Tower of Pisa is in Italy.
Oh. Well, doesn't it lean over into London just a little? You know, maybe a teensy-weensy thing?
I'm afraid not.
Well... Live and learn, I always say. Miss Churchill, I'd like you to meet the members of my cast. You remember Mary. You met her in London.
Hello, Miss Churchill.
Hello, Mary. Oh, please, everybody call me Sarah.
Well, thank you. And Sarah, this is my orchestra leader, Phil Harris. I'm sure you remember him. He also appeared with us at the Palladium.
Oh, yes. Old ham hocks and turnip green.
That's me.
He's proud of it yet. Now, Sarah, this is my announcer, Don Wilson.
Nice meeting you, Mr. Wilson.
Oh, I'm thrilled, Miss Churchill, and I'd like to take this opportunity to tell you that I've always been a great admirer of your father.
Well, thank you.
In fact, we all admire your father.
That's right, Mary.
What does he do?
Phil.
I didn't say nothing wrong. What does he do?
He's a painter.
Very good, Sarah, but on him it was lost. Now, let's see. Oh, yes, there's just one more member of the cast I'd like you to meet. This is our singing star, Dennis Day.
Oh, hello, Dennis.
How do you do, Miss Churchill? Deucedly jolly of you to guest on our little wireless jamboree today. Yoicks, bubble and squeak, and a penny a pitch.
Now, Dennis, be sensible or I'll have to admonish you for being facetious.
What does that mean?
I'm going to crush your head like an egg. So watch it, kid.
By the way, Sarah, are you enjoying your stay in America?
Oh, very much. There are certain things that still puzzle me.
Puzzle you? What are they?
Well, your movies, for instance. Last night I went to see a very funny picture called Francis. It's an amazing story about a talking mule.
A talking mule? Yeah, that is amazing.
Yeah. Such grammar.
Grammar?
I know exactly what you mean, sir. I seen Francis, and once when that mule was talking, instead of the past perfect tense, he used the past indicative and wound up with a dangling participle.
Well, now, that's very interesting, Mr. Harris. Are you a student of grammar?
Yes, ma'am. There ain't nothing I don't know about English.
Well, Sarah, now that you paid us the compliment of being with us today, is there anything we can do to entertain you? Is there anything you'd like to see, one of our sketches, or, well, anything?
Well, Jack, I've always listened to your program, and years ago you used to do Western sketches in which you played the part of Buck Benny.
Uh-huh.
Well, I always enjoyed those so much. Would it be possible for you to do one today?
You mean Buck Benny rides again? Why, certainly. Gosh, we haven't done that for so long. It'll be fun for us, too.
Do you think you could find a part in it for me?
You? In a Western? I mean, playing the part of a cowgirl?
Well, Jack, I think I could do it so well you wouldn't even have to admonish me.
Admonish you?
Yes. You've been using that word as though it was something new.
Well, it is to me. You see, I have a new writer now. But there is a part in the sketch of a school marm that I think you would enjoy doing.
Oh, I'm sure I will.
Sarah, I've been meaning to ask you, for being a guest on Jack's program, is he paying you in dollars or pounds?
Well, to be frank, Mary, when I brought up the subject of money, Jack said we could settle that after the show.
Oh, brother.
Why, what's wrong?
Now you're going to find out what your father meant by blood, sweat, and tears.
Mary, stop that. Now, if we're going to do our sketch, let's get started. Now, come on, Don, you set the scene. And then
Mr. Benny, have you got a part for me in it?
Huh? Oh, Mel Blanc. Now, let's see. Yes, Mel, I may have a part for you, but it won't be very important, you know.
Oh, I don't care. I'll do anything. Really, Mr. Benny, I don't care.
Well, fine, Mel, fine. Now, Don, set the scene so... Oh, excuse me. Hello?
Hello, Mr. Benny. This is Rochester.
What is it, Rochester?
Just thought I'd tell you I'm preparing the dinner you're giving for Miss Churchill.
Good, good. How's the roast beef coming along?
Pretty good, boss, but I've never seen a piece of meat with so much fat on it.
What are you talking about? That roast wasn't so fat.
It wasn't. When it melted down, I oiled everything in the house, filled the car, and sold the rest to Glenn McCarthy.
Glenn McCarthy?
He's laying a pipeline tomorrow.
Rochester, stop being so silly. And don't forget, when you're making out the place cards, I want Miss Churchill to sit at my right.
Yes, sir.
And by the way, Rochester, did you make that phone call?
Yes, sir. I called Washington like you told me to.
Uh-huh.
But they said that even though you're giving a dinner for someone from Europe, you'll have to pay for it yourself. It has nothing to do with the Marshall Plan.
Well, forget it. It was just a thought. See you later, Rochester. Goodbye.
Oh, say, boss.
Yes?
What time are you going to bring your guests for dinner?
Right after the program.
Oh, then I better go lock the door to the back porch.
Why?
You don't want people coming in to use the Bendix while you've got company.
Well, I don't mind them using the machine, but hanging the clothes in the living room is murder. Last night I had some friends in, and we had to watch television through Ronald Coleman's underwear. Anyway, I'm glad you thought of that, Rochester. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Now, let's see. Where were we?
You were getting ready to start the sketch, Buck Benny Rides Again.
Oh, yes. Now, Sarah, the action of our play takes place way out west, where men are men and women are women.
Well, you can't ask for a better arrangement than that.
No, ma'am. All right, Don, set the scene. Buck Benny Rides Again.
Ladies and gentlemen, our play tonight opens at the ranch of that fearless, hard-riding cowboy, Buck Benny. Curtain music.
I'm an old cowhand from the Rio Grande. I learned to ride for I learned to stand, but I can't sing with this lousy band. Yippee-yi-yo-ki-yay. Well, I better mosey down to the corral and see how my foreman, Cassidy, is doing. Oh, here he comes now.
Morning, Buck.
Morning, drag-along. Say, Drag, what you blushing about?
Well, just a few minutes ago I did something silly.
What was that?
I was sitting on my horse singing Empty Saddles.
I see what you mean. You're the only man I know who rides side saddle on both sides. Well, I'm going into town. I want to see what's going on at the Golden Nugget. So long, drag-along.
So long, Buck. Easy getting up on that horse.
Don't worry about me. Steady, boys, steady. Steady there.
Buck, you're supposed to get up on the other side.
Oh, Mel don't care. Steady, boys, steady. There we are. Giddy up, citation. Giddy up. Ah, here's the Golden Nugget. Whoa, boy. Doggone, just once I'd like to come in through the door. Now, there's my girlfriend, Calamity Livingston. Hiya, Calamity.
Hi, Buick.
Buick? That's Buck.
I'm sorry, those holes in your head fooled me.
Fools everybody. Well, Calamity, how about having a drink with me?
Don't mind if I do.
Good. Bartender, bourbon and water.
What's for the lady?
The water.
Hey, Buck, I've been looking for you.
What's wrong, Drag-along?
Cattle rustlers just raided the new school marm's place.
Cattle rustlers? Doggone, they've been terrorizing this area for nigh on to 20 years. Come on, let's rush over there. See you later, Calamity. There's the schoolmarm's house over yonder. Here we are. Whoa!
A rather abrupt stop. But then that would happen, especially with the Buck Benny programs. March 5th, 1950, most of those Buck Benny shows were pre-1940. And so for them to bring it back in March 5th, 1950 on the Jack Benny Show was a little bit different, but we'll see. The conclusion of Jack Benny and another yours truly Johnny Dollar story when Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox continues following these messages from your favorite radio station. Just when you thought it couldn't get any better, Mike Lindell and MyPillow launching the MyPillow 2.0. Now, when Mike invented MyPillow, it had everything you could want in a pillow. Now, nearly 20 years later, he's discovered a new technology that makes MyPillow even better. Of course, the patented adjustable fill of the original MyPillow, but now with brand new fabric with a temperature-regulating thread, it's the softest, smoothest, and coolest pillow you'll ever own. Say goodbye to tossing and turning and flipping your pillow over in the middle of the night. And more great news on the MyPillow 2.0 buy one, get one free offer with my promo code Wyatt. MyPillow 2.0 is 100% made in the USA, 10-year warranty, 60-day money-back guarantee. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio podcast square to receive the MyPillow 2.0 buy one, get one free offer. Use my promo code Wyatt or call 1-800-928-4715. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of the Jack Benny program, March 5th, 1950, as Jack was trying to get his horse to stop.
Here we are. Whoa!
Ula mai ko dong wa sang mo ko yang mo ko bus te ka he thamar ko nyo thong ngo. Ao lang sap to wala maling tapal song along.
Boy, he really threw me that time. Now, how am I ever going to get out of China?
You're not in China. Those are my houseboys.
Oh, who are you, ma'am?
I'm the new schoolma'am, Sarah Jones, whose father has just bought the old Z-Bar Ranch. But the rustlers are trying to steal our cattle to force us to sell the land cheap because they know that the old abandoned mine under it really has a rich vein of gold which we do not know about at all, I reckon.
Well, that takes care of the plot. Can you talk a little more Western?
I sure can, partner.
Huh?
I reckon.
Good, good. Now, what's this I hear about cattle rustlers? They been a-bothering you?
Yep. They took all my cows except that... Oh, look, look.
What's wrong?
There's an Indian coming towards us.
Oh, yeah. But he don't look dangerous. I'll talk to him. How?
How?
Me friend.
Me tired. Make long journey. Come all way from Hudson River.
Hudson River? Why they call river Hudson?
You have to step down to get into it.
Oh, well, what do you want?
Nothing. Me just come to do joke. Goodbye.
Just came to do the joke, eh? Watch this, Sarah.
Buck, you shot that poor Indian right through the head.
Oh, Mel don't care. Now tell me, Missy Ma'am, about those rustlers. You see any of them?
Yep, I saw the leader. He's a medium-built fella, kind of cute looking. He's a Mexican.
A Mexican?
Yep, here he comes now.
Whoa, tamale, whoa. Hello, senorita. You too, gringo. Stick up your hands, for I am the Mexican bandit, Senor Deniso McNulty.
So you're the bandit, eh?
Si, senor.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself, hombre, robbing poor women.
Oh, I cannot help being a bandit, senor.
What do you mean you can't help it?
I won the giant jackpot on the radio quiz program, and I'm doing this to pay the taxes.
Oh.
What'd you do before you became a bandit?
Oh, senorita, I was a bullfighter. I was the most dashing, the boldest, the fightingest, the most reckless, the bravest, the most fearless bullfighter in all Mexico.
Why did you quit?
I'm a little yellow.
Senior McNulty, why don't you reform and get to be an honest citizen like Buck Bentley?
Like him? Ho, ho, ho. I am laughing.
Why? What's wrong with me?
You are supposed to be the great cowboy. Can you roll a cigarette with one hand?
Not on these program. Now, Deniso, because we're a little late, I'll arrest you in the name of the law.
To arrest me, you must catch me first. Giddy up, Tamale, giddy up.
Quick, he went that way. Let's grab our pintos and we can head that hombre off at the pass, partner.
That was my line, Sarah, but you read it swell. Come on. Let's get on our horses and chase him. We're a-gaining on him.
Yep. Why do we keep passing the same scenery?
They expect it in westerns. Now, where's my gun? We're close enough for me to take a shot at him. I gotta take careful aim now. I got a beat on him. There. Oh.
Buck, what happened?
I shot my own horse. Look, my poor horse is dead.
Well, that's all right. Mel don't care.
Ah, guess not. Come on, Sarah, let's go to the Golden Nugget and play the jukebox. Thank you very much, Miss Churchill. Good night, everybody.
Be sure to hear Dennis Day and a Day in the Life of Dennis Day. Stay tuned for the Amos and Andy Show, which follows immediately. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
March 5th, 1950, Jack Benny on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we head south. Well, sort of south to Virginia. Vicksburg, in fact. This episode of yours truly, Johnny Dollar, the first part of a 5-part story, The Plantagenet Matter, was originally broadcast March 5th, 1956.
From Hollywood, it's time now for...
Johnny Dollar.
This is Mr. Costello at the Plantagenet Hotel in Vicksburg, Virginia. You left word?
Oh, yes, Mr. Costello. I'm acting for Eastern Seaboard Casualty Insurance. You know, investigation.
Oh?
I understand you had a burglary down there.
We sure did, Mr. Dollar.
Well, the main reason I wanted to talk to you, Mr. Costello, was to let you know I'm getting the first plane out of Hartford as soon as the weather clears.
You're coming here to Vicksburg?
Yes, that's right. Eastern Seaboard Casualties asked me to investigate the burglary for them.
Good. Then I'll expect you when I see you.
And I'll be there.
Tonight and every weekday night, Bob Bailey in the transcribed adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account, America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar to the Chief Accountant, Eastern Seaboard Casualty Insurance Company, Providence, Rhode Island. The following is an accounting of expenditures during my investigation of the Plantagenet Matter. Expense account item 1, $2 cab fare, my apartment to the Hartford Airport. Item 2, $173. One airline ticket from Hartford to Vicksburg, Virginia, and back again. We took off in 10 below zero weather about 1:30 in the afternoon. By 5 o'clock, we circled into Vicksburg for a landing. Item 3, $5 cab fare to the Plantagenet Hotel, 3 miles outside of town. A pleasant, spacious, gentle old building set back among the wintry trees. 15 minutes after checking in, Mr. Costello appeared, wrung my hand, and reported that the Vicksburg police had apprehended the burglar who had rifled the hotel safe the night before. All of the loot had been recovered. As a matter of form, I spent 2 hours with the police itemizing the stolen property, which was all intact. Then I returned to the hotel, assured Mr. Costello that everything would be all right, and got busy trying to make return reservations for Hartford. Now, the rest of this report is by way of apology for my tardiness in submitting the expense account. In between phone calls to the airport, I went downstairs to the bar for a drink, and then stepped outside for a walk and a breath of fresh air. In the back of the parking lot behind the hotel, a blonde woman about 30 in a green suit was talking to a tall, typically dark man who had his back to me. They were arguing about something. As I walked past them, I couldn't help hearing too well.
Please help me.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, please.
On your way, mister. This is private.
You hear me?
Hey, just keep your hands to yourself, bud.
Well, keep rolling then. We're having a little argument, private.
Please, I don't know who you are, but I'm...
Shut up! She's had a little too much to drink, mister, that's all.
Oh, that's so? Well, it doesn't look that way to me. Now, what's this all about?
I just told you, Nosy, she's had a little too much to drink. Now, go on, bud. Get on your way.
Wait a minute. I told you to keep your hands to yourself.
Yeah.
Honey, you want to keep it up? You hear me?
Yes. I hear you. And I'll let it go this time, mister. Just this once.
Do you want to have him hauled in, miss?
Oh, no. No, that's all right. It's all right.
Okay, then, okay. Come on, beat it, you.
Now, listen,
Beat
Buster.
it, I said. She's tired of you, and so am I. Go on, beat it.
Okay. Just remember, Amy, I was only trying to talk some sense into you. So long, hero.
Thanks. Thank you very much. That was awfully kind of you.
Okay, did he hurt you?
Yes. Where it hurts the most, I guess. I'll never get accustomed to being disappointed in people.
Oh, well, he didn't look like your type anyhow. So why don't you just... Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, look now.
This is just the end of everything. Everything.
Yeah, I know. Well, maybe it looks that way, but maybe it isn't.
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry to have caused you all this trouble.
That's okay.
It must look rather cheap and dingy. I mean, I don't know what I mean.
Well, look, let me ask you something. Did you really have too much to drink tonight?
No. No, I only had one drink with him.
All right, then maybe you'll let me buy you one. How about it?
You're very kind.
You look like you should be with someone for a little while right now. So what do you say? How about it?
You're a very kind man.
And that's the way it began. In the parking lot outside of the Plantagenet Hotel in Vicksburg, Virginia. She trembled a little when I let her back inside to the warmth of the bar and the people and sat her down at a booth. Looking back on it now, I guess we had a rather strained, one-sided conversation. She did all the listening and seemed preoccupied with her problems, whatever they were. Even though I'm not the greatest wit in the world, I did manage to get a faint smile out of her. It was a nice smile from a warm, frank mouth. Item 4, 2 drinks for us.
That's cute.
Hey, see there? Next thing you know, you'll be telling me a joke. Oh, that reminds me of another one. It's one of the oldest and most respected jokes in the country. You probably heard it 1,000 times. It seems 10 men were standing in the rain under an umbrella, and none of them got wet. Well, just about then, a fellow walked up.
You've been very, very kind to me. Thank you again.
Well, I'm glad you feel better. Miss,
Are you, from here in Vicksburg?
No, my home's in Hartford, Connecticut. I flew down here this afternoon on business. I'm waiting for a flight out.
Oh. What's your name?
Johnny Dollar.
Thank you again, Johnny Dollar.
Hmm?
Thank you for not asking me my name. For not asking me about the man in the parking lot. For not asking me to explain what my trouble is. Thank you, Mr. Dollar. And thank you for sitting here with me this little while and trying to make me laugh.
You really feel all right now, huh?
Yes, I think so.
Good, that's swell. Because I wouldn't want to let you go if I thought you were going to step outside and start crying again.
No. No, I won't do that, I promise.
You sure?
Positive.
Okay. Ah, you want one more for the road?
Oh, thank you, but I'd better not, Mr. Dollar. I really should be getting home.
Well, will everything be all right at home?
What? Oh, yes. He wasn't my husband, or my boyfriend, even. He won't bother me.
Okay, then. Here, let me help you on with your coats.
Thank you.
There you are. You have a car?
No, I'll get a cab. There's always one out in front.
Good, I'll help you.
Thank you.
Say, look, I'm going to tell you something. I'm staying here in Vicksburg at the Plantagenet, and I doubt if I'll be able to get a plane out tonight. Probably not until tomorrow sometime. So, look, if you need me for any reason at all, why don't you just call me, okay?
Yes. Thank you.
Good. Cab, taxi. You're still worried about him, aren't you?
Why do you say that?
The way you looked around when we stepped outside here just now. Would you like me to see you home?
Oh, no, thank you. You've done enough already. And about him, I made a mistake, that's all.
Oh, we all make mistakes, so forget about it.
Well, I'm afraid this one can't be corrected very easily. But here's my cab. Good night, Mr. Dollar.
Good night.
You and I will probably never meet again. But I shan't forget your kindness. Thank you.
Okay, good night.
Downtown, please. I hope you have a nice trip home, Mr. Dollar.
Hey, whoa, driver, hold it. Hey, anything wrong? What is it?
I don't know. I have the strangest feeling.
Wait a minute, driver. Hey, look, do you feel all right? You're shivering.
Yes, I know I... Oh, it hurts.
Oh, what hurts?
Hurts. I didn't think he...
What is it? What can I do?
Help me. Please, Mr. Dollar. Help me.
Let's go, driver. She fell back across the seat of the cab, writhing with pain. I took her in my arms and tried to find out what it was, but by that time she wasn't able to speak. In another 10 seconds, she was unconscious. The cab driver delivered us to an emergency hospital 5 minutes later. They carried her in through the ambulance entrance. I let the driver go and waited around the desk to see if I could learn what happened. Just waited.
Vicksburg emergency.
Waited.
One moment, please. Go ahead, please. Vicksburg emergency. Not at this time of the night, sir. You'll have to call first thing in the morning. I'd suggest any time after 7:30. Yes, sir.
Yes?
Hey, look, would it be all right to go back and talk to the doctor now?
I'm afraid not, sir.
Well, could you bring him out here? I've been waiting for quite...
I'm sure he'll be out in a very short while. He knows you're waiting to talk with him.
I thought maybe he forgot me.
No, sir.
I just want to make sure she's all right.
The doctor will be out. Vicksburg emergency. Just a moment, I'll connect you. Go ahead, please. Has she had many of these attacks, sir?
Oh, I don't know. I just met her.
Oh. Well, if you'd like, we could call you at home and let you know how she is.
This isn't my home. I'm on my way out of town as soon as I can get a plane. I'll wait.
Certainly. Excuse me. Yes, doctor. Yes, he's right here. Yes, sir, thank you. The doctor will see you now, sir.
Good, thanks.
End of the hall, room 111.
Okay, thank you. I don't know what it was or why that hallway looked so long to me. Call it an old-fashioned premonition or what have you. That's what I had walking down the hall to see a doctor about a girl I'd known only a few minutes. There were 3 people in the room, 2 doctors in their white clothes and a nurse. I can still see the light burning above their heads, the way they looked tired, exhausted. All 3 of them had been working very hard. Doctor?
Yes? Oh, you're the man who was with her.
Yeah, that's right. How is she?
When did this happen?
About a half hour ago. I put her in a cab at the Plantagenet Hotel, and she complained of feeling sick. So I brought her here, but she lost consciousness in the cab.
I see. Sit down, please.
Oh, why?
Some papers we want you to fill out, just routine.
Oh.
Your name, please?
Johnny Dollar.
And she is Mrs. Dollar?
No.
Oh, I see. You're a friend of hers, Mr. Dollar.
Well, yes. Look, what is it, Doctor? What's the matter with her?
I can't exactly tell you that right now, Mr. Dollar.
What? Well, now, wait a minute. Why can't
We have to contact her family first, Mr. Dollar. This girl is dead. Now, if you're willing to fill out...
Picture it. Yourself in my position, I mean. I'd known the girl only a few minutes. I didn't even know her name. Yet somehow I'd become closely involved with her. Too much so, I guess. All I knew about her was that she was someone who had died while asking me to help her. Under the circumstances, what would you do?
Now, here's our star to tell you about tomorrow's exciting episode of this week's story.
Tomorrow, how can you help a dead girl? Somebody had to help her. And guess who? Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, is transcribed in Hollywood, written by John Dawson. It is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Be sure to join us tomorrow night, same time and station, for the next exciting episode of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Roy Rowan speaking.
And there you have it, the first part of the 5-part Yours truly, Johnny Dollar story, The Plantagenet Matter, originally broadcast March 5th, 1956, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. I mentioned Ted a lot over at RadioMemories.com, but he's also supplied me with a large number of our Yours truly, Johnny Dollar stories. And you can pick those up at RadioMemories.com on cassette, CD, or flash drive for your computer. That's RadioMemories.com. All right, folks, thank you so much for listening. Hope you'll thank this station and support their advertisers. It is their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite radio station. Now, if you miss a day, you don't have to miss a single episode. All of our shows are available on demand at classicradio.stream. That is classicradio.stream, where you can stream our shows on demand. You can learn about building a classic radio collection of your own. You can find our social media links. You can contact me there. And you can also buy me a coffee. The Buy Me a Coffee money helps us acquire additional classic radio theater collections and helps us maintain our distribution channels. That's at classicradio.stream. Classicradio.stream. Thanks for tuning in. Tell all your friends that the greatest radio shows of all time are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.